we're on. All right, so create a new file. Screen size is fine. Whoop-de-doop. Going to go to here under Canvas. I'm going to turn on Drawing Guide. Then hit Edit Drawing Guide. Let me zoom out so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to build a 3-point perspective triangle around my canvas. If you're not sure what that means, basically it means I'm just going to touch the screen here, here, and then zoom out a little bit more, and up here, so that my canvas is in the middle of those 3 points. You want to make sure these 3 points are scooted pretty far away from each other. And the result is, it's like we did 1-point perspective, except instead of one vanishing point in the middle of the page, you have 3 vanishing points off the page. And every single line we're about to draw is either going to go to the point above, the point here, or the point here. The result will be that like vertical lines, instead of going straight up and down, will bend to this point. Now, if I turn on assisted drawing, you see me turning it off and on, off, off. Well, there you go, it's on now. The point is, if it's on, then it will restrict our lines, and ProCreate won't let us draw any line except lines that go to those 3 points. So now I'm going to draw some buildings. I'm going to turn the size down pretty good, opacity up, and I won't use my Apple Pencil so it doesn't make that clonking sound. And now there we go. So that's my vertical line. Essentially I can draw like an arrow going up. I just drew the corner of the building, and now I can draw the sides of the building. Do you see the building? Let me try that again. Nope, let me try it again. That's good enough. Do you see the building? It doesn't really look like a building too much until I go back in with maybe a thinner line and draw maybe like some windows. And if I'm really cool, I'm going to make sure that the spacing between each windows gets wider and wider as I get lower and lower. And then I can kind of wrap these around. And again, because I've got that easy drawing assist on, every single line is forced to go to those 3 vanishing points. So I'll draw another building, go back up, and then, I don't know, there. Whoa, that's way too thick. I'll go up, and then this way. And then down. There we go. Cool. And I got another building. And with this one, I'll make, I don't know, when does it go like this? It looks a lot cooler if you actually look at pictures of buildings and kind of see like what do actual buildings look like. Hey, it looks neat, right? I mean, it looks like you're looking up at a couple of buildings. I'll just put one more in here and make that thinner. And with this one, I'll do both sets of lines. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever. I'm just kind of giving you a basic overview of how this thing works. Add one more. Whoops, way off. There you go. So it looks like you're looking up at a bunch of buildings. Really neat feature of ProCreate. Now I'm going to add a new layer, drag it underneath, and this is going to be colors. So I'm going to color each building on a separate layer. So for this first one, I'm going to, yeah? Oh, you have to turn Drawing Assist on for each layer. What's up? Make it quick, Stella. What's up, sweetie? Okay. So turn on Drawing Assist for that layer, and you can see it now says assisted there on layer 2. And if you do assist while you're coloring, it makes it easier because now your coloring lines will only go to those 3 vanishing points. Oh, what? No, that's my earlier attempt to make a video for you all. It's harder than it looks, I guess. Maybe it doesn't look. Maybe it looks hard. I don't know. Point is, I don't know why that little white space is there, but that's good enough. I'll make one side darker and then the other side a little bit. Whoops, can't put it there yet. Got to first create the boundary and over here a little bit more. Cool. Now, after you do this with each of your buildings, I'm going to make my next building maybe a different color. I don't know, kind of greenish. If I have time to edit this video, I'll edit it to make it look, whoops. Oh yeah, there. I'll make this side lighter. And whichever side is light, you don't have to make the left side darker and the right side lighter. Whoops. But whatever side is darker, you need to be consistent for all the buildings. So for each of my buildings, no matter what color they are, I'm going to make each of them left side darker, right side lighter. This is a dark building. Ugh. Kind of rushing, so I'm trying to respect your time. I'm sure that you're so excited by what I'm showing you, you want to jump in right now. I guess you probably could. You kind of skip ahead to the end to kind of see what's happening, but you're going to miss the cool shading part if you do. Okay, so there. Alright, so whatever. After you... Oh, where's the missing side right there? After you create all these different things, then you can do the really cool part, which is this. We're going to make it look like there's other buildings reflected in these buildings. So first, let me select that. So I select one side of the building, and then I create a new layer. And I'm going to turn on assisted drawing for this layer as well. And then take a paintbrush, and it's okay if this one's a little bit more opaque, and I'm essentially going to draw a city inside of this city. Oops. Somewhere along the way it lost my selection tool, so let me select it again. Okay, there we go. Now, like I said, I'm going to draw another building inside of this building, because that's what we would see inside of buildings. You don't have to worry about going like super detailed, just really basic stuff, because we're going to blur this a little bit later. And then I'll just draw, there we go, cool, and yeah, that's good enough. Now I'm going to drag in some colors, and it doesn't matter what color, but I guess if I was really cool, I'd do something like create a new layer underneath this one and then merge it later, and that would be faster, right? And again, you don't have to worry about being super precise because we're going to blur this out. So just do your best to, there, something like that. And I'll make this other building maybe like a, this color. Cool. Okay, great. And then after you make those two buildings different colors, then we're going to make a nice like bright blue for the sky. And then I'm going to add some clouds. And here you can get creative with adding like really cool cool brushes if you want. I'm just going to add something like this. And you want these clouds to be behind these two buildings. And then, after you do all that, you can merge these two. So now we've got one layer that has a reflection of buildings in it. And then I'm going to do the coolest part, Gaussian blur. Again, that's right up there, Gaussian blur. I can slide my finger to the right or to the left and it blurs it. I'm going to just blur it to the right a little bit, and then it'll look like that. And then, whoops, then it really looks kind of reflective. If it's a bit much for you, you can turn the opacity on that down, and you can see something like that. Yeah, pretty cool, right? And then you can even go back in and, I don't know. There we go. It's kind of a rush job, but I'm sure you can imagine that if you put like more lines in for the details if you put more lines for details instead of just these stripes that I did, then it could look pretty sweet. So there you go. So have fun with that. And in case you want a quick little review, here is time-lapse replay. So draw your buildings, color them in on a separate layer, select that one layer, and then add that. All right, bye. See you Tuesday.